Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, sometimes people ask me, why can't you let them get a win? Like, why can't you let them win? Or at least let them think that they're winning. Let them enjoy their moment. I'm mostly kidding, no one's ever asked. But it is a question that could be asked. Why don't we just let these leftoids enjoy their win? Or rather, their perceived win. Every week, the left is celebrating another massive win against Trump MAGA extremism. And every single week, I'm recording a video describing why this perceived Democrat win, well, isn't a win at all. Quite to the contrary. It's another big fat frickin' L, or at least foreshadowing to the inevitable coming L. And so here we go again. Gets a big loss in court. Trump appointed judge smacks down Donald Trump appeal. It's freaking over. Every leftist on the platform promoting the same talking point. But here's the problem, as is typical with these leftoids, they're only reading the headline. They're reading the information bubble propaganda that's simply telling them what they want to hear. The reality, what's beneath the headline, well, it's a little bit different. The left is celebrating that Trump just got a huge loss in court, but the real story is Trump may have all the charges dropped against him in the documents case, as Robert Hur's report and now testimony throws a wrench in the whole damn thing. Mar-a-Lago gate is falling apart. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so you go all over Twitter and here's what you see. Leftists celebrating. Mueller, she wrote, writes, breaking, Judge Cannon has denied Trump's motion to dismiss counts 1 to 32 on constitutional vagueness. TikTok, mother effer, with Jack Smith's face. And it's pretty much the same tweet over and over again from a bunch of Democrat accounts. It's frickin' over. They keep posting Jack Smith's face. But I guess they didn't get the memo. Leftists are celebrating the headline. Trump loses appeal. Oh, well that pretty much settles it. Cue the revival of the left's favorite talking point.
He may be feeling the walls closing in on him.
All the walls closing in on him.
The walls closing in on him.
Oh, the walls are definitely closing in this time. Except, no, not at all. Again, it's not surprising. It's the same thing that we were expecting from the 3-panel DC court on the issue of presidential immunity. This decision was totally expected. In fact, that's not even the core of Trump's appeal. The specific appeal that was rejected was a long-shot argument that I don't think the Trump team was really taking seriously. They were probably using to just kind of muddy the waters and slow down the whole process. What they're really focused on, in terms of having the entire documents case dismissed, is the recent Robert Hur revelation, or I guess we could say report. Robert Hur essentially confirmed that Joe Biden stole classified documents. In fact, he had a history of just taking documents home with him. And not only that, but that he lied multiple times, claiming he, quote, never shared any classified information with his book's ghostwriter. We all remember when he said that, right? But then it turned out that he lied.
Thank you, everyone. I did not share classified information. I did not share it. With your ghostwriter? With my ghostwriter, I did not. Guarantee you did not.
We also identified other recorded conversations during which Mr. Biden read classified information aloud to his ghostwriter.
And of course, Robert Hur pretty much confirmed that Joe Biden did in fact violate laws relating to classified information. And so, since we now have that confirmation from Joe Biden's own DOJ, since we know that Joe did it but then didn't get prosecuted, the main Trump team appeal is to appeal based on selective prosecution or arbitrary enforcement. That's the new focus. And Julie Kelly, who's our source for all things Trump indictment, well, let's just say her analysis of events comes to a very different conclusion from what the Democrats are currently stating.
There were a lot of people in the courthouse today, Jesse, including Special Counsel Jack Smith and former President Donald Trump, sitting in the same courtroom again for the second time in 2 weeks. But one individual who was not there nonetheless had a major presence, and that is former Special Counsel Robert Hur, who testified earlier this week about his findings related to the willful retention, Joe Biden's willful retention of national defense information, high-level classified documents, but nonetheless, unlike Donald Trump, will face no criminal charges. Both the defense and Judge Cannon repeatedly brought up this phrase, arbitrary enforcement. It is very clear that Judge Cannon is aware of the double standard, not just with Joe Biden, but former presidents Bill Clinton and Ronald Reagan, and more importantly, former vice presidents Hillary Clinton, Mike Pence, and of course, Joe Biden. My prediction, Jesse, and I make a lot of predictions on your show, she will not dismiss the 2 motions before her today, but she will, I believe it's very likely, the Judge Cannon will dismiss this case based on a pending motion for selective prosecution. It's very clear she is aware of it. She's very upset about it, as you could tell from her comments and conduct today. So that motion is pending on the docket. A hearing has not yet been scheduled, but I would not be surprised if she dismisses this entire case based on selective and biased political prosecution against one man, Donald Trump.
Quote, "It is very likely, according to Julie Kelly, that Judge Cannon will dismiss the case against Donald Trump. Why, you may ask? Well, on the grounds of selective prosecution. Here's what's interesting. Judge Eileen Cannon did initially rule against Trump's appeal, but in her decision, and this is something a lot of people aren't talking about, she opened the door allowing Trump to file another additional appeal specifically on the issue of selective prosecution. In other words, her most recent ruling is essentially a grounds for a brand new appeal. You can see it right over here in the decision. In connection with the court's February 22, 2024 deadline, President Trump is filing the following pretrial motions in the matter indicated. Motion to dismiss counts 1 through 32 based on presidential immunity. That was rejected. But then, of course, here, motion to dismiss the superseding indictment based on selective and vindictive prosecution via email to the court. This is the appeal that was approved and is currently pending. Judge Eileen Cannon isn't playing games at all. She's reportedly very aware of the extremely partisan look of all this, how Joe Biden gets to walk away from doing what was 10 times worse than anything Donald Trump did because he's old, frail, and doesn't have a freaking working brain. Ahead of the 2022 midterms, Joe Biden's home wasn't raided, Mar-a-Lago was. There's a clear discrepancy between how one situation is being handled as opposed to the other. There's obvious political or bias implications, and the understanding at this point is that Judge Eileen Cannon sees it very clearly, is frustrated by it, and chances are that this entire case might get thrown into the garbage very quickly here, and that's basically the takeaway from the decision that dropped today. A far cry from what Democrats are releasing on their TDS timelines. It's literally the exact opposite of what Democrats are hoping for. First off, it creates more delays. In other words, this case isn't happening ahead of the election, so that's pretty much more bad news for Jack Smith. And secondly, Trump's appeal wasn't rejected, but rather the long shot appeal was rejected, with a door opening to appeal following the special counsel Robert Hur report and testimony. But I'd probably suggest if you have any far-left coworkers, family members, friends, I'd suggest just keep quiet about this one, because shocking somebody's worldview to that extent, bursting their ideological bubble that they live in, well, it could be shocking and damaging mentally. Mostly kidding. Tell every leftoid you know that the Trump cases aren't going to wrap up in time. Most of the charges are likely to get dismissed, and that we're probably headed to a massive mega Trump comeback. Tell them that instead, because that happens to be the truth. That's my half-baked legal analysis, mostly piggybacking off of the incredible work that Julie Kelly does, so go ahead and follow her on Twitter. She 100% deserves it. If you guys want to stay informed on all indictment news, follow Julie Kelly, Jonathan Turley, and Kaneko the Great. Those are my 3 top sources. That's the video update for the Trump indictments. Not looking good for the other side. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.